Fashion.
Fashion.
It's never just been fashion for me. What sort of fabrics are we using? What sort of textiles are we using? How can fashion be used as a useful tool for more?
Can we build a new material supply chain which is inherently healing to the planet?
What we really need to do is to see value in everything. There is no waste in the fashion revolution.
I think we should embrace changes across our entire value chain to ensure ethical and environmentally sound operations at every stage.
When it comes to redesigning the fashion industry, to textile design, to garment manufacturing, the future of fashion is already here. The textile and apparel industry globally is currently at a crossroads. We have to change some things fundamentally. Textiles are so cheap, cheaply sourced, cheaply produced. So naturally, the approach to fashion has gradually started becoming take, make, and waste. Some of the biggest challenges facing the textile and apparel industry today has to do with, issues around environmental pollution, waste management. There's a lot of microplastic pollution because of the kind of fabrics that, a lot of fast fashion brands use, synthetic, polyester. None of these things are biodegradable. So at the end of the day, it's just sitting there. We're talking about 1.2 billion tons of waste. Fashion industry contributes between 4 to 10% of carbon emissions globally. At the beginning of any production cycle, we need to start asking the right questions. What kind of fabric am I using? Who made my clothes? Who makes up my supply chain? How do we ensure that apparel manufacturers are making better choices? They're sourcing better. How can fashion contribute in a more meaningful ways? Having clothes that's so precious that you can pass down to the next generation, that your siblings can wear, that your friends can wear, that clothes have meaning.
So I'm standing in the depths of Somerset in a marsh, so we can take these fibres and put them in a puffer jacket like the one I'm wearing today. Ponder is a textile manufacturer, and we create this product, BioPuff, which is our insulation material coming from plants grown on regenerated wetlands. We've developed a technology that enables us to extract fibres from plants grown on regenerated wetlands and then turn those fibres into textiles that we can provide to the fashion industry, thereby connecting a massive industry directly to the creation of new regenerative ecosystems.
So regenerative fashion goes beyond sustainability and explores how, there can be a bigger, wider focus when it comes to restoring ecosystems and communities. Protecting and preserving artisanal skills is of paramount importance. The art of creating or making that's been touched by hand, and that is the very definition of luxury, something that's been touched by hand.
I was born in Erdos highland of Inner Mongolian province at the very north of China. It is an area where the world's finest cashmere is produced. I witnessed that the crafting of a cashmere garment is an act of devotion, demanding meticulous artistry at every step. We are leaders in the ecological protection of the grasslands, the conservation of rare cashmere goat breeds. We always knew that the quality of cashmere depends a lot on nature, the conditions of the grassland, the breeding of the goats. So now we are reimagining its possibilities through innovation. Through recycling and upcycling, the life cycle of this precious raw material can be extended, forming a closed-loop fashion system, so it can minimize waste in the production process.
The fashion industry has become so disposable, with fast fashion brands, just producing in astronomical quantity. It's very important that no matter what we're producing, we have to design and produce with intentionality, that we eliminate waste from the design process.
Reweaving is an innovative material company that has developed new materials using waste fibres from agriculture and replaces the need to use other materials such as cotton, leather and plastic, which are unsustainable. Pineapple leaf fibres are, to me, obviously very special. They're strong, fine and flexible. Piñatex, our main product, is 95% renewable using bio-plant-based chemicals. All of our materials are really designed to be reused, recycled, and what I like to say, upcycled, so it doesn't go to waste. I imagine a future where we will be less reliable on petroleum-based polyester, etc., and animal skins as well, and more reliable on waste from agriculture, which is vast. So that would really bring a balance.
It's very important that no matter what we're producing, we want either the product or the garment to last. There's the culture of repair, there's the culture of reuse, there's the culture of, how do you extend the life cycle of a garment so it doesn't end back in the bin.
We make textile-to-textile recycling easy. We are solving the problem in the recycling of clothes, which is the disassembly, because before we can recycle textiles, we need to take out the zippers, the buttons, the labels. We make the disassembly automatic, but highly efficient by using stitching threads that dissolve at high temperature and make that seam disappear and the elements fall apart so that we can sort out button zippers, labels. So once the clothes or the textile product is disassembled, then we can send the sorted materials to specialized recyclers, and they will transform this piece of fabric into new yarns that are then used for weaving or knitting new fabrics.
Everything we use goes back into the value chain. It takes us from that foundational thinking of take, make, waste to, closing the loop.
How can this environmental benefit be translated into an economic value for either our customers or other stakeholders who are invested in a net zero future as well? When we're talking about industries that are worth trillions of dollars, the amount of impact that those tiny inflections can have on our natural world, on the regenerative systems we're able to produce, is so large that we can create a massive revolution in our supply chains of the future.
I believe that when it comes to redesigning the fashion industry, it's joint action. For the longest time, consumers and people have put the blame solely with garment producers. Some people have said, no, it's a question of, legislation. People have said, no, actually it's consumers. But I think it's everybody taking responsibility and everybody taking ownership.
The future of fashion, the way that I would like to see it, is having a fashion industry that is still super creative, super inspiring, but that does not have all these negative consequences, burdens, and spillovers that it has today.
It's very clear that the fashion industry is really, really keen to change and adopt new materials.
What we all have in common is this planet that we've been given. So how can we be great custodians of it? And this starts with exploring alternative methods, alternative ways to designing and creating.